Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for watching another video. So tonight we're going to be having a look at the differences between the Taurus Gx4 Toro and the Glock 43X Mos. Both of these are considered to be in the micro compact pistol category. Both of these are milled out for reflex sights, but there's about $150 difference between this guy and this guy. Is it worth the difference in price? Let's have a closer look. Alright, I guess first thing is, let's see if there's a weight difference. These are unloaded, so the Taurus has a 13 round magazine in it, and it's coming in at 1 pound, 2.6 ounces. Here comes the Glock, and that's coming in at just about the same weight. Alright, the next thing I want to point out is the finish on the slide. So the GX4 is a little bit more of a matte finish. It's not as glossy. So this is a gas nitrided finish. The Glock here is a little bit more glossy, deeper black, as we can see on here. That's an NDLC finish, so nitride diamond-like coating. And people are going to differ. Some people are going to like the glossiness. Some people are going to like that black finish. If I had to choose between the two, I would say that the Glock has the more durable finish, but I will say that this is really slick. When your hands start sweating, sometimes it gets a little bit hard to rack that slide, versus the Taurus with this matte finish, definitely easier to grip. Let me give you guys another side-by-side so you can see that gloss difference there between the two. Let's have a look at the top here, and you're really going to see the difference between the finishes there. Yeah, I can see, slight thickness, pretty close. Yeah, look how shiny that Glock is compared to that matted finish on the Taurus. Like I said, some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it. Going to spin you around this way so you can have a look at the thickness of both of these from the back here. You can see that in the back of the slides here, pretty similar. Grip thickness going that way, pretty similar. Alright, let's have a look on top here. Both of these, of course, well, the Glock has Glock sights and the Taurus can use Glock sights. Those are pretty similar. And of course, both of these are milled out for reflex sights. They both use the RMSC pattern. Right, both of these have beveled muzzles in the front to aid in reholstering. Right, we can see the accessory rail here on the Glock, whereas on the Taurus, 0. Both of these have rear and front cocking serrations, which is now standard on every pistol. I can't believe just a few years ago, not everybody had front cocking serrations. That was like an upgrade. But there's a look at the cocking serrations on the Taurus Gx4. Pretty deep. And again, because of this finish, it's a lot easier to grip than the Glock with sweaty hands. Here's a look at the Glock front and rear cocking serrations. So these go more vertical, up and down. Let's have a look at these trigger guards here. The Taurus Gx4 has a longer trigger guard than the Glock, as we're going to see. Okay, there's a look at the thickness. Curve in the front, no stippling in the front. Some people like to hold their pistols like this, so no stippling for grip on the front of the Taurus. Again, this is a larger trigger guard than what we're going to see here on the Glock. Okay, you see it's longer there. And let me get you a close-up of the thickness of that trigger guard and the stippling on the front here for those that want to grip their pistol like that. Let's have a look at the controls on the pistol. These are very minimalistic because these are very tiny pistols. So there is your slide catch release, your takedown levers here, and your magazine release button. Very flush to the frame, as we can see here. Just simple 3 lines here. Typical Glock serrations on the magazine release button there. Of course, the magazine release button is swappable to the other side. But look at how flush that sits. A lot of people will swap these out because they just feel like they don't get enough, so they put the larger ones on there. I don't have any issues with punching out the magazine with one hand. Very easy. The only thing that's difficult about Glock is the takedown levers. If your hands are sweaty and you're trying to pull back the slide to pull down these 2 levers on both sides, sometimes it gets a little bit slippery, but once you get used to it, it's pretty okay. Pretty much the same deal on the Taurus. There's your slide catch release, magazine release button. I kind of like the design of this button a little bit nicer. I like the geometry. It matches with the design on the grip and the stippling. Also reversible to the other side as well. And I feel like this button, because of its design, is a lot easier to punch out the magazine with one hand. So I do like that. The takedown procedure is a little bit different. You do need an included tool. So if you get one of these, don't use it as a keychain. Just keep it somewhere that's accessible, because you need that to put into that slot right here. And all you're going to do is turn it backwards to the grip, like this. You see how the slide just moved forward like that? Pull trigger, slides forward, rack back, and it locks by itself. So the takedown procedure, well, at least in my opinion, is a lot easier than the Glock. Alright, so far the pistols are pretty much evenly matched, but here is when the Taurus is going to start to separate itself from the Glock with some features. So here are the magazines that came with the Taurus. So you got an 11 rounder and an 11 rounder with the extension. So you can do things to this to kind of change its configuration. These are metal, they're made by Mekar, and there's two of these. All right, as you can see, it's a double stack feeding into a single right up top here. Glock polymer magazines, just 10 rounders, and that's what you get there. I'm unsure if there's anything else out there that will fit the 43X, but that's for some people it'll be an advantage because you get more round capacity with the Taurus. Some people will say, well, maybe I don't need all that. It's going to be a lot lighter to carry with just 10 rounds each. So depending on how you look at it, could be advantage Taurus or advantage Glock, but more round capacity with the Taurus. Alright, let's compare the grips on both of these pistols here. First of all, I do like the texturing on the Taurus a lot more. Alright, there's a look at the front strap, around to the side panels, and the back strap area. It just feels more grippy when your hands get sweaty. That's just a fact. Also, you see this palm swell back here? There's a roll pin here because you can punch that out and replace it with a different size back strap. So you have customizable back straps with the Taurus. Now, when you look at this swell back here, combined with this undercut on the trigger, it makes it so that you can get really up high right back here in this beaver tail area. It's a nice cut-in to fit really comfortably in the web of your hand. So the grip is extremely comfortable. All right, let's have a look at the texturing on the Glock. We can see already that there's a lot of areas with no stippling. And you can just tell how shiny it is, that it just feels a little bit slipperier, yeah, than that Taurus grip. Like there's just more texturing on the Taurus. But some people like that texturing. Just to kind of point that out, that the Taurus does have a better texture on their side panels, front strap and back strap. Nice undercut here in the trigger. Nice beaver tail right back here. And that's going to lock right into that web of your hand. So that does feel nice. And we have non-replaceable back straps here. The last thing I want to point out about these grips is the grip angle. Now, most pistols have a grip angle of like 18 degrees. It's more straight up and down like this. The Glock tends to slant more at right around 22 degrees. And the reason that I point that out, I've seen more people be more comfortable when they hang onto a grip for the first time that's more upright like this versus one that's more slanted like that. So that could be a deciding factor. Alright, last up are the triggers. First, we're going to see how these behave, and then we're going to weigh each trigger to see how much that trigger pull is. So here is a look at the trigger on the Taurus Gx4. Flat-facing trigger, which a lot of people like. Alright, so here is the take-up. Very smooth, no resistance, right to the wall. Right from there, it's a clean break. Bang. Alright, here's a look at the reset. Out. Back in. Okay, we'll do the whole thing once more. Again, take up very short, very smooth, no resistance. Here's the break. Here's the reset. Back out. And in. Going to be very good for follow-up shots. Over to the Glock with a curved trigger face. Here is a look at the take-up. Okay, a lot of resistance. You can feel it scraping in there. There is the first wall. Okay, a little bit more there. And a break. That's a nice, strong break, though. I will say that. It breaks really strong. Here's the reset. Perfect. Oh, man, you can just feel that. And back on it. I will say that because the trigger safety is more bladed, if you can feel it more on your finger more, whereas the face here is flatter, so that's a lot more comfortable on the fingertip. Let's have a look again, one more round. Okay, so there's a take-up. Again, very spongy. A lot of resistance. There's the wall. Nice strong break. Back out on the reset. Nice click. Back on it. All right, let's weigh them. All right, let's do 3 pulls each, starting with the Taurus. First pull, 5 pounds, 11 ounces. Yeah, that's pretty good. They feel like they should be coming in that 6-pound range for both. The Glock trigger might be a little bit heavier. All right, second pull for the Taurus, 5 pounds, 13 ounces. Last pull. All right, 5 pounds, 14 ounces. Yeah, right around 6. All right, 43X Mos first pull. Whew, that was snappy. Wow, 6 pounds, 12 ounces. Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels a little bit heavier. And man, you can really feel that clack on the trigger. All right, second pull, 6 pounds, 13.5 ounces. Yeah, that's closer to the 7-pound mark for sure. All right, last pull for the Glock. Coming in 6.95 ounces. That's a little bit better. Well, all right, guys, we have a $150 difference between the Taurus Gx4 and the Glock 43 Mos. You got more round capacity with the Taurus. Arguably, maybe a better trigger there as well versus less round capacity in your standard Glock trigger on the 43X Mos. Both are milled out for reflex sights. Both are in that micro subcompact category and are going to be extremely easy to carry. Now, for me, I'm just going to say that the value is more on the Taurus side, but that doesn't mean that the Glock 43X Mos won't fit you. You got to make up your own mind for that. Both are going to be great pistols to start out with, though. Well, all right, guys, that's the ending of the video. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.